All right, let's cut to the chase. If you're here, you're probably debating between Apple's iPad Pro M4 and Samsung's new Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra. Honestly, both are beasts, thinner than laptops, more powerful than desktops, and designed to replace everything else in your back. Apple is all about that M4 chip and stunning OLED display, while Samsung flexes with a massive screen, Galaxy AI, and serious multitasking power. So which one deserves your cash? That's what we're breaking down: design, performance, productivity, and value. Let's dive in. Okay, first impressions matter, and both of these tablets scream premium. The iPad Pro M4 is basically Apple saying, we can still make things thinner. At just 5.1 millimeters for the 13-inch model, it's officially the thinnest Apple product ever. It comes in silver or space black, and it has that signature flat-edged aluminum design that Apple's been rocking for a while now. Samsung wasn't about to let Apple take the spotlight, though. The Tab S11 Ultra is also ridiculously slim, sitting just over 5.1 millimeters. And while it's slightly heavier at 692 grams compared to the iPad's 579 grams, it makes up for it with a larger footprint. Samsung uses armor aluminum for extra durability, and you can grab it in moonstone gray or platinum silver. Both look amazing, but here's the deal. The iPad feels a little more compact and portable, while the Tab S11 Ultra feels like you're carrying around a futuristic canvas. It's bigger, bolder, and more of a statement piece. And speaking of canvas, let's talk screens, because this is where things get spicy. The iPad Pro M4 finally brings OLED to the iPad lineup. Apple calls it the Ultra Retina XDR display, and it uses what they call a tandem OLED system. Basically, it stacks two OLED panels to hit insane brightness levels, up to 1600 nits peak HDR. And of course, you get ProMotion with a buttery smooth 120Hz refresh rate. Watching HDR movies, editing photos, or even just scrolling through Instagram feels ridiculously sharp and vibrant. Now, the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra isn't backing down. It has a 14.6-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X panel, also with a 120Hz refresh rate and up to 1600 nits brightness. But here's the kicker: it's bigger. And when you're multitasking with split-screen apps or sketching with the S Pen, that extra space makes a huge difference. So here's how I'd sum it up. If you want the best-looking screen technology, Apple edges ahead with the tandem OLED setup. But if you want the biggest, most immersive canvas, Samsung takes the crown. Now, let's talk raw power, because both of these machines are absolute beasts. Apple's M4 chip is built on a 3-nanometer process. Depending on which iPad you buy, you're either getting a 9-core CPU or a 10-core CPU, paired with a 10-core GPU that has hardware-accelerated ray tracing. Oh, and don't forget the 16-core neural engine powering Apple's AI features. Whether you're editing 4K video, working in 3D modeling apps, or just multitasking, this chip barely breaks a sweat. Samsung's Tab S11 Ultra is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 Plus, also a 3-nanometer chip designed for high performance. Pair that with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, and you're looking at a tablet that can go toe-to-toe with laptops. And unlike Apple, Samsung gives you a micro SD card slot for up to 2 terabytes of expandable storage. That's a huge win if you're storing massive files. So performance-wise, Apple probably edges out slightly in raw benchmarks. But if we're talking about flexibility and long-term usability with expandable storage, Samsung fights back hard. Now, here's where things really get interesting. The iPad Pro M4 runs on iPadOS 17.5, with Apple's Apple Intelligence AI tools coming soon. The integration with apps like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, and the whole App Store ecosystem is unmatched. Add the Magic Keyboard and the new Apple Pencil Pro, and this thing becomes a creative powerhouse. The Pencil Pro even has new tricks like squeeze gestures, barrel roll for rotation, and haptic feedback. Artists and designers are going to love that. But Samsung's not sitting quietly. The Tab S11 Ultra runs One UI 8 on top of Android 16, and it comes loaded with Galaxy AI features like Note Assist, Circle to Search, and even integration with Gemini Live for real-time conversations. The S Pen has also been upgraded with a hexagonal grip, better tilt detection, and side charging. And here's Samsung's ace card, Samsung DeX. With a new extended mode, you can run up to 4 custom workspaces across different screens. It's basically like having a laptop and a desktop all in one. Apple's iPad still can't match that kind of desktop-like flexibility. Let's be honest, you're not buying a tablet for photography, but still, both of these devices bring decent setups. The iPad Pro M4 gives you a 12-megapixel rear camera with LiDAR technology, great for AR applications and 3D scanning, plus a 12-megapixel landscape front camera that's perfect for FaceTime. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra comes with a 13-megapixel main shooter, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel selfie camera. That extra ultra-wide gives Samsung an edge if you actually want to use the rear camera for more than just scanning documents. Both tablets also deliver excellent sound with quad speaker systems tuned by Dolby Atmos on Samsung and Apple's spatial audio on the iPad. Whether you're binging Netflix or editing videos, the audio quality is surprisingly rich. Battery life is always a hot topic. The iPad Pro M4 promises around 10 hours of mixed use, which is pretty much standard for iPads, but Apple hasn't really pushed the charging side. You're still getting relatively slow charging compared to the competition. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra packs a massive 11,600 mAh battery and supports 45-watt fast charging. That means you can get hours of use with just a quick top-up. For people on the go, that's a game changer. And now, the part that really matters, your wallet. The iPad Pro M4 starts at $999 for the 11-inch and $1,299 for the 13-inch. But remember, the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil Pro are extra. By the time you've added those, you're easily spending well over $1,500. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra starts at $1,199, but here's the kicker. Samsung is notorious for insane trade-in deals. Some offers drop the price to as low as $399 to $500 if you've got an eligible device. That's a huge difference in value. So which one should you buy? If you're already deep in the Apple ecosystem, you've got an iPhone, maybe a MacBook, and you love apps like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, and the whole App Store ecosystem, the iPad Pro M4 is hands down the better choice. It's sleek, incredibly powerful, and the new Apple Pencil Pro makes it the ultimate creative tool. But if you're someone who values flexibility, bigger screen real estate, expandable storage, faster charging, and true laptop-like multitasking, then the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra is the better deal. Plus, with Samsung's trade-in offers, it's simply hard to beat the value. At the end of the day, it really comes down to ecosystem and workflow. Apple is for creative professionals who need the best tools for content creation. Samsung is for productivity warriors who want maximum versatility and aren't afraid to push Android's limits. So which one is your pick? iPad Pro M4 or Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching.